out as a hobby. It started out as something that we passionate about, or that Aiden is passionate about. So when you come out here, we're not trying to sell you stuff. Yes, we are Indian, and yes, we are in the business of selling. And yes, at the end of the day, we do have to pay bills. Correct me if I'm wrong. We do have to pay bills. So there is a certain cost element. But I think if we look past that, correct me if I'm wrong, but multiple of your clients today are not clients. They're more like part of the family.
Yeah,
I mean, the other day I remember it was about 2 months back where you had all your clients out here for a drive, and AutoElite funded a braai.
Yeah, it was a Saturday, it was middle of the month. A lot of our clients or customers or family members actually pulled in. And we were sitting here, we didn't plan anything, we didn't say anything, we didn't do anything, but we saw the amount of guys here and the amount of time they spending here. And us as a company, as a garage, decided, you know what, let's just get some coal and some boerewors. I mean, it's simple things for us that make a big difference in a client's life. I mean, if you walk into BMW, they offer you a coffee, they offer you a muffin, if you service in your vehicle. Typical South African.
Braai.
We braai. We braai. I mean, it's the best thing. Open fire. And if you catch us on the right day, you'll probably have a curry here.
Yeah.
From Niri's Curry Bar, most probably.
From Niri's Curry Bar.
Yeah.
So
we'll order, but that's what we're saying. I mean, we do our taste testers in the middle of the month. We do our taste testers in the middle of the week. We don't only advise our customers on vehicles or anything like that. We tell them where to get the best food. We tell them simple things because we conversate with our customers. It's not like you dropping your car off and that's all we're going to tell you.
No, of course. There's a little bit of a personal aspect. And
exactly.
I think that is what people are looking for nowadays. Not just a garage where I can come and drop off my car. It's I know the owner. Literally, you on the floor. I've seen this kid. Yes, he is a kid to me. I've seen this kid getting his hands dirty up until about 10, 11 o'clock. The one day you were here, when you called me, it was around about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
And you actually called me to come out, and I was like, dude, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And you didn't even realize it is 2 o'clock in the morning because you had been working so hard on a vehicle. So that amount of passion, that amount of personal touch, I think makes a big difference to the market and to the family out there. That when you come into AutoElite, you're not just getting something off the shelf. You're getting something that's personalized, something that's customized, and something that's to you.
Exactly, and that's what we trademark as our OEM Plus package. It doesn't just include the driver of the vehicle or the, forgive me for being a bit sexist here, but the male in the family.
No, of course.
Right. But
you have a lot of female drivers, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we do. Might be on the lookout, keep in touch with Fresh Cut, because we might just, if Cameron convinces me, we might be running a special for the ladies during the month of August.
I like that idea, tying into Women's Month. So come in and quote Fresh Cut to AutoElite in the month of August. That's coming up
for all the lady drivers.
For all the lady drivers, and I'm gonna try and twist Aiden's arm in terms of getting you guys a special. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna hold off a little bit right now. Aiden and I are going to take a walk downstairs, and we're going to try and find our head mechanic or head of the mechanical division.
He's probably under the car somewhere.
Yeah.
I can see from the office here. Yeah,
he's under the ST right now. Yeah. So just give us a few minutes, and we will be back with the head mechanic or head of the mechanical division.
Performance side, Trishen.
Cool.
We also call him Trish the Magician.
Trish the Magician. Thanks, guys. Just hold on for us. Okay, so we are here back with the Fresh Cut. Aiden and I, we took a walk around and we managed to find Trish under a freaking ST. Was it an
No,
ST?
he was under the M3 this time.
He was under the M3. Okay, so I just want to introduce Trish to you guys. Trish is actually the head of performance and the mechanical division of AutoElite. I would say when I met Trish for the first time, one of the guys who literally gets his hands dirty, more than Aiden. He's a guy that
A lot more.
that is literally under the cars, under the bonnet itself, and as he puts it, Aiden is the client liaison, whereas
Client liaison officer. Because he loves to talk to people.
whereas Trish is the actual guy who is in an overall. He's still in his work clothes now. We actually managed to pull him away. I said, listen, guy, it's going to be about 15, 20 minutes, hopefully. Just give us a little bit of your time because he has to get back. So we're going to be a little bit quick today for the remainder of this podcast with the Fresh Cut. Again, out here at AutoElite Garage, there's a couple of guys still working. The guys downstairs are still... they're still looking at my car right now.
Trish actually, wheel wobble.
Trish actually advised that it isn't actually buckled. Am I right, Trish?
So we don't think so, but we are still looking. We're not completely ruling that out. But yeah, it could be just wheel balancing at this point, or something of that sort.
Okay, so from my perspective, guys, as I've said to you before, I am on a budget, so that drastically helps me because it's not going to be
It's not a major repair.
It's not a major repair. Okay, cool. So Trish, we spoke a little bit earlier with regards to the performance upgrades. Aiden touched a little bit about the software upgrades, but from your perspective, before we even get to performance upgrades,
Yes.
I would like to ask you a simple question.
Mm-hmm.
When you started out, if you can tell me, I mean, I know Aiden, and Aiden started out when he was about 10 years old, but he could reach a pedal. When did your passion actually come about? How did it start? How did you get your first spanner set or whatever it is that you guys as mechanics do?
Look,
I can tell you that I got my first laptop when I was about 8 years old, and that's how I ended up in SAP today. But from your perspective, Trish, how did you start about becoming a mechanic or becoming a head mechanic of a freaking successful business today?
Look, it was more like childhood, being surrounded by cars all the time. My family is a big petrolhead family.
Okay.
Let's call it that. So my dad's had workshops. My brother has his own workshop. My brother does old car restorations. We do more of the new stuff. But yeah, basically it was... started off quite young, pretty much from the time I could crawl. My elder brothers and dad and that stuff, they were always busy with cars.
So you always crawling under the bonnet.
I was always,
Still used to this day, guys. I'm just saying, still used to this day.
breaking something and making them fix it to start off. But it became... throughout school, my schooling career and all of that stuff, I was always the car guy. I'd always be, fidgeting with someone's car, someone's dad's car, just experimenting at first. And then, it became pretty much a full-time thing. Even after school, when I finished my matric and all of that stuff.
When did you finish, by the way?
So I finished my matric year in 2010.
Shit, you're a baby.
So I'm 27 years old. But finished in 2010 and studied for a little bit at.
Out of curiosity, what did you study?
So I started off with mechanical engineering.
Okay.
But things got a little bit tight, financially and things like that. So I ended up looking for an apprenticeship and. Basically it's like a learnership program that, you can get off, basically employed by a car manufacturer and they will send you for your training and all of that.
So what was that like? Where was your first apprenticeship and how many hours did you work? I mean,
look, I started in 2011. So the next year out of school, I started my apprenticeship with Audi in Johannesburg. Audi 4-Ways in Johannesburg, and the apprenticeship basically took about 3.5 years to complete.
Okay.
So that's basically
so you're studying and working.
Yes. So 3.5 to about 4 years. It's basically a 6-month training per year. So you'll be basically a week at training and 3 weeks at work. A week at training and 3 weeks at work for the whole year.
Okay, so for the guys on the podcast today who are looking out to actually become an apprentice, doing an apprenticeship course, they can actually. There is some hope from the perspective of you work as an apprentice, and as you progress throughout your studies and things like that, you get to actually work on vehicles. Did you get to work on vehicles from the beginning?
So a lot of the training was basically on site. So you'd work for. So I was employed by Audi South Africa basically, and we work as apprentices under a what we call a journeyman. Okay. That's a qualified technician. So he basically guides you through your hands-on training. And then I was obviously into cars and working on cars long before that. So I already had some hands-on training. So quite early in my apprenticeship phase, I started progressing quite well, and then ended up being like team leader and things like that at Audi before I was even qualified. And then qualified, did my extra training, did my master technician's course, RA technician's course, diagnostic technician's course, and I worked for, call it another year qualified, and then I decided I want to go on my own. At the same time, I was doing a lot of performance work and, helping the guys in the race industry, do modifications on their cars besides being, based solely at the dealership.
Okay. So what I can say, what I've summed up a little bit, from what I've heard is, apart from your apprenticeship, before you even got into being an apprentice,
yes,
one of the things that you started off right from school days is the fact that you had a passion for performance.
Yes.
You had a passion for
So
cars.
my family, as I said, is very car orientated. Hands-on. My dad would always work on his own cars. Family's cars, we would work on their cars. My uncles had workshops, so we grew up around cars a lot.
Yeah, if I can just stop the podcast quickly, if you want to just maybe tell us a little bit, if you want,
yes,
whereabout are they based?
So I'm from Tongaat, small town in the north of Durban. It's basically
is a
farm boy.
So it's in between Bolito and Umhlanga. So we in the
Remember,
middle.
Superman was a farm boy.
It's close to
Yes.
the King Shaka International Airport, in fact. So
Okay,
that's
cool.
convenient for me when I need to go back home. So yeah.
And the name you mentioned that your brother has a workshop in
Yes.
in KZN as well.
No, so my brother's based here in Joburg as well. His company is called DK Precision Auto. And he does a lot of the old car restoration stuff and, the custom bits on the older cars.
Okay, so
yeah.
so if we're looking at restoration, guys, so if you on the podcast listening out today, DK, what is it? DK Auto.
DK Precision Auto.
DK Precision Auto, if you're looking to actually do up your old vehicles, I mean, like...
So for the Indians out there, it's your Cortinas, your
like your
Escorts and
Cortinas,
stuff.
Escorts, your Datsuns, the old Corollas, that sort of thing. He does
1987 Corolla.
very good work on that stuff, yeah. So,
one of my favorites is actually a 1987 Corolla. Not just because I was born in 87.
he's busy now at the moment with a Ford Capri Piranha V8.
Wow.
They're busy converting that to 5-speed with your hydraulic clutch system, whereas the older version would have had a cable clutch system.
Okay.
So yeah.
So why I say the 1987 Corolla, not just because I was born in 87, but because if I remember correctly, it was the year that the last rotary engine rear-wheel drive Corolla came out. Correct me
No,
if
it
I'm
wasn't
wrong,
a
guys.
rotary engine. It was the last rear-wheel drive.
It was the last rear-wheel drive.
Yes.
Sorry guys, if you're hearing that right now, it is one of the guys from AutoElite, one of the customers actually.
It's derailing his Mark 1 Golf turbo.
And
Okay.
he's missing a bonnet.
He's missing a bonnet, so
We'll post some photos. We'll keep you updated just to see this beast. It is a 2-door We've got another Golf 5 GTI coming in. Yeah, the performance guys are pulling in.